New Chance was 96 here with another review, this time of the Prometheus 7-inch Deacon figure. Or is it Deacon? It's Deacon. I don't really know his name. I mean, this guy's been called Proto-Alien, Pre-Xenomorph, the Alien Queen. Whatever this is. Here you go. So as you can see, it is made by NECA. Of course, packaging is standard for Prometheus. Just it's pretty thin because this is a quite thin figure. But there you go. You get that. The others that are coming out, you know, I have these two. I decided to pass on David and get this guy. I'm mostly just going for the aliens, and I really don't think that I'll get either of these. Yeah, maybe I'll get that one, but I like the way that he was going to look before they made him look like this in the movie, so I doubt I'll pick it up though. But as you can see, get a nice picture of the figure and some a bio about the movie. Not quite about this character though, but just about the movie. So yeah, let's just go into the accessories really quick. So first of all, you get a nice clear base, and this is because he has trouble standing up if you have him with his feet on the ground. But as you can see, I really do like how it's formed so that his feet are laying down, and so that you're not just putting it on, you know, one part and potentially having him kind of sag over. So I really do like that they added that little piece. It's pretty nice. A lot of companies don't do that, but I'm glad they did. There is like writing on it, you know, the reserves and everything. It's very noticeable, so I don't like that. But overall, it's a nice little base. I don't use it though, but it is pretty cool. And then the next you get this, which is the engineer space helmet, the decapitated head from the movie. Just going over the helmet itself, extremely cool. Really do like that a lot. Very nice, a wonderful detail, and a really great paint. It's got blacks and a little bit of blues and grays and some kind of brownish colors going throughout it. Really well done, really well sculpted, and I like the kind of glossier paint in the eyes, looks neat. And then of course it does split where you can see the engineer's face, which is pretty good, pretty nice detail. There is a little scuff on the chin on mine though, and then on the back, I don't know why the color is so different, but yeah. But overall, it's cool. He's got a nice design in the face. Looks kind of creepy and kind of gross. And this is, of course, when they pumped it full of electricity to get the muscles moving, and it exploded. So yeah. You also get these infected worms, as you can see, just going over this one. This one's the one without the face like open and everything. It's cool. It does have two little just holes in it, which allows it to move and everything. But then you do have lots of nice detail on it, and it does have a wire going throughout it, so you can completely pose it, which is really wonderful. It'll really take the shape that you put it in, and you can do just a lot of stuff with it. So overall, really am a fan of that. Like you see, here's the other one with the face opened, and what's really awesome is just, see if we can focus on, there we go. And what's really awesome is you got the holes in it too. But what's really nice is that you can pose it so that it just stands up like itself. This looks really awesome, like right here, and it stands up fine, which is very nice. So now let's go over the alien himself. So here he is. So this is exactly how I keep him on the shelf. Pretty simple. I like the hands just kind of together and him on his knees and then the mouth kind of closed. Overall, it's a pretty nice design figure. For me personally, I think that it's definitely a no-brainer to keep him on his knees. I just think that he looks so much better this way, and he looks cooler. And I would really not like him on that base, but I'm sure some people put it on the base, which is fine. One thing I will say is when I got him out, a couple quality issues, which were a big shame, unfortunately. And it's really just, it seemed like this guy had some wet paint, and then they packaged him up right away, because on the knee here, the knee was kind of like this, and when I went to move it, and you know, it snapped because it was very stuck, you know, it took up some of the paint on the side here. It's very hard to see. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know where it's focusing, but it just took up some of the paint there, which was a shame. I know it was hard to see, and but it really just sucks. I can't believe that that happened. It's not that noticeable and not that bad, but it's still just, it shouldn't happen. So yeah, as well as on the shoulders. I mean, this one moved fine, but my biggest problem was this one didn't. what happened was when I was moving this one, what would it do? It would take up this piece of plastic that's on here. It would take it up with it because it's soft plastic, so it would actually move with it, which was stressing the plastic down here. It was a big shame. I couldn't move this without very much so damaging the shoulder, which was just a hassle. But I did just get a knife and just, you know, stuck it in there and tried to break it up a little bit. So then it did break where it was stuck. So now it can move fine without damaging it. But it's a shame that they packaged it, you know, right when they did, because it caused all these quality issues, which were just a bummer. So I'd be careful when you get yours. I was able to fix my problem, and the other problem, just there's nothing you can do, but it's not that bad. So overall it is a shame, but what are you gonna do? And just to go over his feature, of course, the mouth opens. Love the way that it opens and it comes down. The only problem is the second mouth in here, it goes down so far. It's supposed to be up like this. This is how it's supposed to be, how it was in the movie, but when you let go, it just goes down and down and down, and it'll end up just touching the bottom of his jaw by the time I'm done talking. So it's a really just shame that that doesn't work so well, but I do really like the look of it. It is very cool. I do keep his mouth closed because I think it looks a little creepier when it's closed. I know that's weird, but I think it does. Overall, pretty nice though. So now just to go over some articulation, of course he does have that jaw joint. His neck has a ball joint, and it really just moves super well. Lots of great stuff that you can do. You can have the head tilted, make it that creepy look, which is just awesome. The shoulders are just on hinges, so they can go up, they can't go forward at all. Really big shame, and it's disappointing. It's because the joint is attached to the body instead of it being attached to the arm. Have no idea why they did this, why they chose to do that. They certainly didn't do it for the other two aliens, the engineers from this toy line, so I don't know why they had to do it with him. I guess it slightly looks better than if they put the joint on the arm, but the arm joint just would have been so much more worth it to have the extra articulation. But what are you gonna do? Then the elbows are hinged, and I think they might swivel just a little bit, but it's too hard to tell. Ball jointed hands, so it can just slightly kind of tilt, but it mostly just swivels, which is pretty nice. And then you do have a swivel waist, which really helps so that you can have a hand out because of the swivel waist, so that helps a little bit with that. Ball joint hips that work really well. They've got some nice movement, so you can have the legs out, and then hinged knees that really work super well, allow you so much range of movement. It's wonderful. And then there's no movement on the ankles, if I'm not mistaken. And then here's of course where the peg is. Overall, he does look pretty cool. The articulation is decent. In some places it's really awesome, like the neck and places and the knees, but in some places it's really horrible, like the shoulders. So it's hard to even judge it because it does it really well. Some places and some places not. So yeah. Going over the paint, it's extremely cool, very glossy kind of a gray. Really love it with some black highlights. I don't know if that's supposed to be used or just a detail, or I'm not sure, but it does look awesome. Sculpting work is fantastic. NECA always does some great sculpting, so there's never any problems there. But overall, quite wonderful. Just to give you guys some size comparison to see if this guy is accurate to the movie, here we go. Just so you can see it like it was in the movie, here he is laying next to the engineer, just like the movie, because of course he does come out of his stomach. And when I first saw how big this guy was, I thought, oh, that's ridiculous, so out of scale. I just watched the clip right before shooting this, and I was like, well, it's a little bit more in scale than I thought. The dig gun, when it comes out, it is pretty big, which was surprising. I totally didn't remember it that way, but it actually was. It certainly wasn't this big, though. This is way out of scale, definitely. It wouldn't work. This guy could not fit in this guy's stomach. So yeah, so overall, accuracy and scale, no, it doesn't work, which is a shame. It does hurt some poses that you could put him in and stuff like that. But overall, it is still nice that we get a large figure. Comparing him when he's standing up, Here he is standing up, and as you can see, he is quite tall, just shorter than the engineer in the chair suit. As you can see, pretty neat. Of course, not on scale, but he is a decently nice size, especially since even though he's a little bit skinnier, they make up for it with the amount of accessories you get. So overall, it's not like you're getting gypped by buying this guy because he's so much less plastic. You do get your money's worth, which is nice. So overall, the Deacon is very cool. He does, in the places that he has, in some places he has fantastic articulation, in others it's quite hindered and quite a shame. So it's really hard to actually judge the articulation. Overall, you got what you need. I mean, it's not Iron Man 3 articulation, I'll tell you that. You can do some cool poses like this, and you can have him in some decent stances. Being that he is quite skinny, you do get a lot of nice accessories to go with him that are really well executed. Really have no complaints on the accessories. They did a wonderful job, and overall a really nice figure. This guy was the guy that pretty much saved the movie for me. I was a little disappointed when I was watching the movie because there's so many questions that didn't get answered and stuff. I was just kind of bummed, but when I saw this guy at the end, I just had a big smile on my face while I was watching this, because that's what I was really hoping for, and that's what I really wanted to see. So this guy really did save the movie for me, and overall I really do like this figure. Highly recommended by me. I mean, there might be a couple of other cooler figures, but for me, this is an awesome character and overall a well worth it toy. So there you go. So I got this figure at Toy Anxiety for $16, which is not bad. So definitely highly recommend it. Thanks for watching.